Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships. As today, this is going to be in a Brawls Sleeping Giant Domination mode, and as part of this Veteran Player Guide series video today, I want to talk about the concept that it's not always about living. There are times in World of Warships where you're going to have to be either the pinata, the damage pinata, so your team maybe can secure a cap, that you can take attention off of them, so perhaps they're pulling off a different key play. There are times where to help your team get the victory and make the play, you end up having to sacrifice your ship for the greater good of the battle of naval warfare. So as we go into 2026, it's only progressively gotten worse over the last 5 updates, particularly since Deadeye came into the game. And then was taken out 4 updates later, 10.0 to 10.4, where we really began to see a shift of Battleship players being in the back. And there are many good reasons for Battleship players being in the back. They're tired. There was the submarines, there was the shotgunning, then it was the Dutch airstrikes, then just more and more overpowered ships that really make it difficult to enjoy playing Battleships in a more type of brawling scenario. So hence, keep in mind this video, yes, we're in Brawls, it's just a 3v3. It's not like you can just copy and paste this into randoms 12v12, but I want to talk about the overall concept of identifying when do you need to make that big play for your team to get the victory. So myself and my clan commander, when we play Brawls, we really like to brawl. We really like to push in, fight, right? We don't like just sitting in the back and kiting and being kind of this stalemate. And I think that's the usually tends to be the fun thing about Brawls, is that you can actually usually enjoy more of a brawling atmosphere. It doesn't mean it always happens, but sometimes you definitely can. So this is a golden opportunity, right? So we're utilizing islands, we're pushing up the flank. I think one of our Ohio teammate, he kind of decided to not serve, and he's going to sit there in the back. So then that's going to put a lot of pressure on Doombeagle. So then I need to be able to get up here and get some shots in. So a part of these, yeah, and I just completely hit the... You could shoot through some things in the map, but not everything. So it could have got a lot bigger damage salvo on the GK there, so that was unfortunate on my part. But it's identifying when is the time, when has it arrived, right, to make the big play for your team. And I think, let me just talk a little bit more about the randoms concept here, because with randoms, it is really punishing, and I know there's going to be kind of maybe two camps in the comments. Ones who are like a flimsy, that you say sometimes you just need to throw over a ship and push in, but that's not always the case because of especially how the battle starts out with randoms, 12v12. Your team just folds this, that, and the other. A lot of HE spammers, Dutch airstrike ships. Whether it's Dutch destroyers, Dutch cruisers, Dutch battleships, aircraft carriers, submarines, hybrid planes. Didn't even talk about that, right? So it is difficult for sure. But at the other time, I still have to push a little bit because I see too many Battleship players who are too fixated on keeping their green health bar intact. Okay, it's really unfortunate to an extent. There's a lot of nuances to what I'm saying here, but a lot of Battleship players, like I see GKs, I see Shikishimas, that sit in the back on the I line, the B line, the whole game, and then once all their teammates have died, then decide to go ahead and push in, which is uber super frustrating, right? It just doesn't really work out well for anyone, for that matter. So it's kind of the challenge of World of Warships as a Battleship player. I really feel it comes down to this teeter-totter, this paradigm, this balance of trying to find out how to balance yourself in a way that you are making a notable impact as a Battleship player, that you're not scared to lose hit points, you're not scared to let the green bar go down, and at the same time playing wisely of when is it not a good time to just throw away and lose your hit points for no reason. Like, you could say that almost for any class in the game, right? So So here I want to talk more about brawls. So St. Vincent, I have a little bit of a gimmick build on this. I'll maybe try to put it in the top left here. I don't remember where exactly I'm running here. But we do have the Furious skill, so we don't take fire prevention. So basically every fire we get set, we have a faster reload time. So this is making a play here. We're saying, Ohio, flip A and B cap. I'm going to push them all away. St. Vincent is kind of a fun battleship in this regard, where you can be that damaged pinata. You can be a bit of a bully. One is because, as you see, I had these torpedoes that do 29,000 a pop, and no one wants to get hit with a torpedo that does 29,000 damage. On top of having 9 457mm guns with a really good fire chance, by the way, on these high explosive shells, 63% without building in, and your AP alone doing... if you take super heavy AP, which I don't know if I've done on this ship, it's over 16,000, otherwise it's 14,900 stock. So we can be you can definitely be a bully in brawls, because you can just kind of push in, and then what are you going to do about it to an extent, right? There are certainly ships that counter St. Vincent really well, but then utilizing islands. So we're on one hand, as I said earlier, we're not afraid to trade hit points here. And on the other hand, we're playing smart. We're utilizing the islands. We utilize islands close to distance. We took a lot of damage. You're going to see a lot. We take a lot of damage in total this game. And then I'm kind of created a situation here where it's now just a 1v1. I've isolated, so now I'm only sparingly losing hit points as the Nevsky fires his armor piercing, which honestly he should be utilizing high explosive, I think, in my opinion, and setting a fire and just burning me, right? So we're going to sit here, and we're seeing, is he going to turn in? I know there's likely going to be torpedoes coming in as well, so it's like, hey, no big deal. We utilize the island. We don't have to have a hydrophysics search. And boom, we get another massive heal off while still keeping both the enemy battleships out of sight, out of mind, while our Ohio is being a good teammate, and he's flipped Alpha, and now he's in the midst of flipping Bravo cap. So this is like, and then this is kind of like the big thing, of course, right? Is you can make plays like this, but will your teammate cooperate, right? Would Ohio just follow me after he finally got off the island, and then just like sail on ending north? The big play we're doing here is we're keeping the enemy team away from the capture points. It's one of the big things, brawls. Brawls forces you in this game mode to fight around the caps. Because if you don't get the caps, you can see how many points we're ticking really fast. Like there's plus 12, plus 12. So we're ticking up to 1,000 points really fast. Now granted, I'm going to die here. This is before the point change. But we're going to die. The points are going to flip down a bit. But actually not that bad, to 726 to 380. There's no points coming in for the enemy team. Ohio has secured both Alpha and Bravo cap. So all now our Ohio player has to do is just live. He doesn't have to do anything aggressive here. We have been the damaged pinata. We have made the ultimate sacrifice. We weren't afraid to lose hit points. We weren't afraid to end up dying here, even though we didn't kill anybody, right? But that wasn't the point. The point was to drive them away from the key capture zone. That was the big play here. And by the time they're like, oh, maybe we need to get to the cap, what are they going to do about it? It's almost 900 points now, right? It ticks really, really fast. And we communicate with our teammate, you know, saying, hey, shoot the GK if you can. You know, don't want to be a bossy player in that regard. So if you're able to, can they even get to Alpha and Bravo in time? And even as his Colombo is sailing down, he's getting close to stepping onto the Bravo cap. You can see him there on the right, and nope, doesn't matter. So we give our little LOL back too. So sometimes in World of Warships, people be playing checkers, and the question is, are you playing chess or are you not? So 1,000,000 credits. This was, you get, I think, 750,000 credits for getting a win. It was one of those turns, 114,000 damage as a whole. Got some fire set. We did pick up a cap there because they kind of ignored us. They were letting us beat our own devices while they were focusing on Doom. So they had focus fire down really well, but not keeping us reset. preventing us from maybe slowing us down from getting to the 1,000 points even faster. 1,000 base XP, yes, we didn't kill anybody, but we were playing chess. We weren't playing checkers here. We were going for the win. And that damage pinata philosophy I talked about, 157,000 damage, quite a lot with 2.3 million potential damage. And St. Vincent is one of those scary ships between not just only the 457, but those nuclear warhead torpedoes that hit for 30k, because who wants to take torpedoes that hit for 30,000 damage, right? So you definitely have that happening here. And, you know, Nevsky wants to kite, you know, a GK, Colombo. I mean, usually the ships that you'll win the engagement kiting, typically, right? Depending on how well you play it. But this was battle type. It was not a kiting game mode. It is brawling game mode. So there will be times you can utilize this philosophy even in randoms. You'll see people even do it a little bit in clan battles, but they tend to be a bit wiser, and they try to lock down and they'll focus fire in kind of quite quickly. But you can use it in randoms. Usually, maybe perhaps it depends. The map, the islands, the enemy team lineup. So don't always, my big encouragement here is don't always be a battleship player who is all about keeping max hit points. You're a battleship player. You have a lot of hit points to spend for a reason, and spend them wisely, but don't hoard them, right? So you can get something like this kind of victory here in the game. So if you liked today's video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. And until next time, take care.